We are live. Probably
right.
going to have to do a little bit of light adjustment. So,
Okay, well, I'm going to share this across the social media.
Why don't you share that across the social media?
Okay.
And so as people begin to join us for Miss Carolyn's days here at our Vlogmas 2021, it feels weird because we're having to share the laptop camera. And I'm under contract where I should never have to share camera space.
Is that how that works?
Yeah, but I mean, obviously we're having to share it now, but that's okay. Hey, if you're new tonight, welcome. If you're not new tonight, that means you're only slightly used. So we are glad that you're here with us. Good to see Miss Jessica Harris here tonight. And she says, Carolyn, really loud. So good to see Jessica Harris here tonight.
Hi, Jessica.
And there she is in her Christmas attire. It's
Yes.
good to see you. You know, Carolyn doesn't like to be on camera a lot. Good evening, Junior Foreman. Good evening, Junior Foreman. But Carolyn doesn't like to be on camera a lot. I wouldn't call her camera shy. It's not what she does. But we're going to get into what she enjoys about our YouTube channel tonight. And this is not the only time she's going to be on Vlogmas, even though she says that she's going to try to make it to where this is the only time she's on Vlogmas. But it probably most definitely won't be. But we're just doing some simple interviewing tonight to make it as simple as possible. It's a Wednesday night. You got prayer meeting at the church, and then it's always good to see Billy, who just walked in his house, I'm sure, from prayer meeting. And Billy says, word up. Mark says, did you lose your license again?
Time to bring out the scooter.
How did you know last time? How did you know that I'd lost? No, I'm kidding. It's been a long time since I lost my license. Long time.
Didn't know you had lost it.
Yeah,
Actually, you lose all kinds of stuff, but you mean had it taken?
Yeah.
Or had it revoked?
Back when we first got married.
Oh, that's right.
Because I didn't pay those speeding tickets.
Yes,
I didn't pay those speeding tickets. Walter Langston says, hi, everyone. Hello, Walter. Good to see you. But yeah, you're right, Mark. And Mark, you got to heal up and get better. Make sure you're taking care of yourself, by the way, man. Good to see you in here, though, tonight. Always good to see Mark.
Yes.
Always good to see Billy. Always good to see all of you. From Boston.
Mark.
It's Mark from Boston. Mark and I had a conversation about attention deficit disorder. I'm like, man, I am the king of ADD. I'm telling you. I own it, though. I use it. So here is Miss Carolyn tonight. Welcome to our channel. It sounds weird, doesn't it? Welcome to our channel.
Mm-hmm. It is our channel.
You have pretty eyes.
You have pretty eyes.
Oh.
Don't be weird.
It's good to see you tonight, even though you're here every night. This is kind of awkward. It's like, I don't know what to say now. It's like you're here. It's like,
Yep.
We started this channel 5 years ago, and it really started in earnest. You know the story better than I do, or as well as I do, that I started making videos on the phone, editing and everything on my iPhone. And you actually bought me the Mac we're using tonight.
Yes, I did.
Why? Why did you do that?
Because your other computer, if I'm not mistaken, had viruses, was very old, and it was awful. And your editing process on there was terrible, and you were frustrated with it. So I came up with a sneaky plan and surprised you with the Mac. Yeah,
and that made all the difference in the world. There's something about it when your spouse, more so, not more so, just differently than your parents, when your spouse believes in what you're trying to accomplish or just see something there that you may not see yourself. She has enjoyed our YouTube world probably as much, if not more so than I have. And it was just really something unique in our marriage. I mean, we'd raise kids. Our kids were about raised at that time. About out of the house, moving on.
Doing high school stuff.
Sure. High school stuff. Yeah. But so it added a whole new different dynamic to our marriage.
Yes.
So early on, though, we had different kinds of videos. We made different things. In those early days, like let's say 2016, what was your favorite video way back in the day? The early days.
2016. Did we do any Blue Ridge stuff? I don't remember as far as like timeline.
I think you'd have to wait till 2017 before you get into Blue Ridge. I think, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't know that I was doing a lot with you in 2016 because I was still so dove into all the kids.
You're right. It's a bad year. I picked a bad year.
School stuff. So
I picked a bad year. So
2017.
You have to go to 2017.
Yes.
So 2017, that's when you got Biltmore, you got Arizona. You got
those two were my favorite.
Yeah.
And then didn't we do New York that year as well?
We did New York that year.
That was a busy year.
It was a very busy and tragic year. It was kind of all of the above at one time. It was a crazy year for YouTube.
Yes.
And wasn't partnered that year. I always forget that. Like for all the videos we made, Hadn't become a YouTube partner yet. It was insane. Let's catch up on our comments here. Walter says hi. Killed an Adventurer. Toby says didn't get the bell notification. Hi. You know, it happens. YouTube is just, you know, they're kind of like, well, they work when they want to, you know. Gary Millwood says, hey, YouTube. Howdy, Gary.
Hello.
How are you? Billy says, Mammy making me watch Gomer, so I tuned in. Surprise. Sorry, I had to. Mark says, oh, speedster. Yeah, exactly.
Pretty much.
Yeah, back in the day, not much now. I don't speed at all now. I drive slow now. It's weird.
I have a lead foot.
You do?
Yes, I do.
But you're blind and they'll never write you a ticket.
But I pay attention. I've avoided many accidents.
Indeed. Mark says, hello, Carolyn. Walter Lake said, I just had to restart my YouTube channel after 6 months. Yes, you mentioned that yesterday. And indeed, Dennis Jackson said, Teresa and I are here. Hello, Teresa. Hello, I'm just kidding. Hello, Teresa. Hello, Dennis. I'll get it out here in just a minute. So that was in 2017. So that's when we started getting out of Chattanooga. Yeah. That was also the same year that we went to the Huntsville Space Center, which is hysterical because the Huntsville Space Center is not really a great place to do YouTube videos. And it's definitely not a great place to visit for adults to visit. It's not. It just isn't. Would you agree?
The events afterward are what were crazy. Remember, we were like borderline in line of a tornado.
Yeah.
We had like barricades flying around.
It was scary.
It was pretty nuts.
We had a crazy storm. There's a lot of stuff. It's like that should have been on the video. That would have been interesting.
You were trying to, but you were the one driving, and traffic was insane because again, barricades were literally flying across the road.
It was kind of a crazy time. But we went to Huntsville, Alabama. We went down to Fort Benning, Georgia. That was 2017.
Was that?
Yeah. It doesn't feel like it's that long ago.
Is that when we did the little Grand Canyon?
Grand Canyon. We spent time over in Helen, which was awful.
Yes,
I think we've grown enough as a channel for me to say this without too much worry about retribution from the good folks of Helen. Because Carolyn, I don't think that I would never want to make anyone mad in Helen, Georgia. I don't like stirring controversy. I don't.
You would never.
I would never stir any controversy.
No, you wouldn't. You would never stir controversy.
Never. Not once. But I didn't leave anything in Helen, Georgia to have to go back and get it. It's hot. It's miserable. So hot. I call it discount Gatlinburg. It's discount Gatlinburg. You can float down a creek there. That's really about it. Not impressed with Helen, Georgia. Toby at Kilted Adventure says Huntsville Space Center has improved much since 2017.
Interesting.
Well, all righty. I guess I'd have to believe it. I don't know. It wasn't a place. We got there late too. Do you remember? We got there in the evening and it was really too late to video. Some of these things we didn't plan at all back in the day. We plan a little better now, but we didn't plan it all back in the day. Big Frog Barbecue and Cooking says, finally, the star of the show has arrived. That's exactly right. I'm always glad to have her here. Always. Walter says, got a tornado on video. We'll re-upload at some point. Outstanding. Junior Foreman says, when did you get your last speeding ticket? Mine, last one was in 1988 in Texas. Buddy, you've got me beat on the length of time. When we were moving up here, I had 2 back-to-back speeding tickets, and they were uncharacteristic of me, honestly. One was...
Well, the one was completely unfair, though.
Yeah.
He caught you going down.
I was going down a hill, and I wasn't even going that much over. It's like 6 miles an hour over.
Virginia.
In Virginia. You don't speed Virginia. In case you didn't know, don't speed.
Don't.
And so, and I was keeping up with the flow of traffic, but I got singled out, whatever. And then the other one was here in Harrisonburg, and we were just getting used to the city, and I didn't see the speed thing change. I was doing 10 over, it was 35, and I was doing 45. And that was like 2 back-to-back, but I guess that's 3 years ago. Yeah, 3 years ago.
Yep, that was our first year here.
Yeah.
Was it? Yeah, I believe it was.
So the dynamics on our videos when we're filming, it's weird because Carolyn does most of what we call blacktop driving. If we're on the interstate, Carolyn drives. I'm usually on the computer editing. When I used to make videos, and you remember this, back in 2017, 2016, a 10-minute video could take me a week and a half to edit.
Yes.
3 or 4 hours a day, slugging it out.
Hence the reason for the new computer.
Yeah, I didn't know what I was doing. I'd never edited videos before. I didn't have a clue. I just thought it was a really awesome way to tell a story. It was fun. and figuring this stuff out. Now, it just doesn't take long at all. 5 hours tops for, I mean, the other day or a few months ago, I made like a 25-minute video. I think it was Burke's Garden.
Yes.
Burke's, one of those videos, it was like 20 minutes or something. I think it was like 3.5 hours took me to edit the whole thing. And so we like to get a lot of the edit and a lot of the transfer of video onto the laptop because that's time consuming. We like to get that going on while we're going down the road. So if there's cell service at all, we like to take care of that stuff. And you keep your costs down that way. And that way you're not spending so much time just on this. And so a lot of times when we're on blacktop on the interstate, Carolyn's the one driving. When we're in the vehicle, let's say we're on the Blue Ridge Parkway, it is really helpful when I drive because of the angle of the shot and some of the moving shots. It's just easier. But what we've been doing over the past year, which is better, it's just better for you guys watching, is stopping the vehicle. She gets out, she drives, and then I just jump into filmmaker mode and get in the in the back of the truck, and we'll hit a look off 6 or 7 times, and then I pick between the shots. And that's what we're going to do moving forward. A lot more of that.
They do come out much better.
Yeah. We're also looking about looking into getting licensed to do some of these things a little better and to spend more time instead of hurrying to try to get done with everything. So Strong's Adventure says, hey, watching the ad about a really cool fire pit. Be in a minute. Excellent. Fire pits are cool. Fire pits are cool, man. By the way, we want to shout out to Strong's Adventures. Just watched one of his videos about making this cabbage thing, this cabbage ditch. Cabbage, what was it? Because you were eavesdropping. It was like cabbage. Oh, I'm forgetting. Anyway, but it was on a Dutch oven. And so you want to check out his channel.
What was it? There's no lovin' like that.
That's it.
Dutch oven.
Oh, there's no lovin' like Dutch oven lovin'.
Yes.
That's it. There's no lovin' like Dutch oven lovin'. And that was what, they're saying over there. I thought that was hysterical. I died laughing. There's no lovin' like Dutch oven lovin'.
Yep.
I don't know.
It was good.
You know what? It works for Dutch ovens.
It was catchy. It was good.
And it works for a Valentine's Day store.
Yeah.
I don't have a clue.
It's a good ad. Yes.
Good ad. The other one, we also always want to mention the Kilted Adventure. Toby, he's a good friend of mine. Toby at Kilted Adventure. Check out their channel as well. Big Frog Barbecue and Cooking. I was doing so well at saying that. Big Frog Barbecue and Cooking. And now I'm getting tongue-tied again. Another amazing channel. I hope I'm not forgetting anybody. If I am, please forgive me. Bryn G is in the house. Hi, Carolyn Bill. Sorry I'm late. Sorry I missed last night. Other obligations. Always good to see you and Carolyn.
Hello, Bryn.
Hello, Bryn. Always good to see. Bryn.
Walter had some snow here today.
Some snow here today.
Nice.
Walter lives down in the southern part of West Virginia. I think it's just north of the New River Falls National Park.
Really?
Yeah, New River Gorge National Park.
Oh,
amazing.
That's right. He had mentioned that.
Sure. There's so many places we want to make videos moving forward here. Of all the places, we talked about 2017. 2018, we make a move up here. Mm-hmm. And then something happened, though.
Well, and we commuted.
For 6 months. But when we moved up here, we found a wonderful place to find bear.
Yes, we did.
And that was the highlight of your 2018.
Yes.
But what happened to the bear on the Skyline Drive?
It's a conspiracy.
Well, tell me about it. What happened?
So COVID hit.
Yeah.
And they went through this whole phase of like, it's open, then it's shut down, and then we had snow, so they shut it down again. Stayed shut down for a while. And then when we started to go up there and visit again, there were absolutely no bear. Nowhere to be found. None. Couldn't see any. And what I started noticing was every time we would see a park ranger in their vehicle, we would either just have missed one or come upon one. And that was pre-COVID. And so now in this season, even after seeing a park ranger, there's no bear around. So I'm telling you, they took the time while shutting down the Skyline and keeping people off the Skyline during the first parts of the pandemic. And I truly believe they moved all the bear because they're just not there. They're not there. And it makes me not like going up there anymore. So
I just want to make sure that the good folks here in the chat room understand the level of this conspiracy.
Yeah.
Is that our government,
the park rangers,
that's the government, that they spent millions of dollars.
It would not cost millions of dollars.
Yes, no, and you've got to pay these people because there are thousands of bear, there are thousands of black bears, so you've got to move them one at a time to a different part of the wilderness.
They did it. Y'all, they did it. You know they did it. Agree with me just in the comments.
What is the reason? But I want to understand what is the reason for moving the bear Like what's their motivation? What's the goal?
How many times did they fuss at us if they saw us looking at one? We would be in the vehicle, not even out. I get it. You're not supposed to be out. You're not supposed to be approaching the bear. People do it anyways. They take pictures, and we've done that. Yes, we're guilty. But there were moments where the park rangers would stop us pre-pandemic, and they would fuss at us for being stopped. We're not blocking the road. We're not blocking traffic, and we're just looking at a bear from a distance. And they would get out and fuss at us and tell us to move along.
Well, but in all fairness,
and so that's why I think they did it, because they got tired of dealing with people, and because other people were getting out of their vehicles, going in and like walking behind the bears, which is dangerous.
But in all fairness, you were trying to get the bear to have a selfie with you. I'm just saying that's what was happening. She had her arm around this big bear, and she was like, "Just smile," holding the camera up. Nah. Just saying.
No, not true.
Strong's Adventure reminding us about his saying. He says, there ain't no loving like Dutch oven loving.
That's right, my friend.
And that's the truth. Great. I want the shirt. I want the t-shirt.
Yes.
Do you have product, Strong?
Yeah, you need to make one for sure.
Do you have, because that is a great slogan. Ain't no loving like Dutch oven loving.
That's right. That's right.
I don't think you were in here the other night when I was talking about your channel, because I was talking about how you made apple turnovers. I don't remember if you were in here, but I actually watched it again last night and just died laughing at what I was saying, is laughing at my own humor, as I often do. Because here's what I say. If you're not your own biggest fan, come on. I don't have anything at the other part of that saying. But that the fact that you can make an apple turnover in a Dutch oven thrills me. It makes me happy. It's impressive. I think my camping has been incomplete all these years. I think a Dutch oven, when you take a Dutch oven camping with you, you're allowing yourself to grow in your palate, if you will. It's good stuff. Billy says, "Oh, Mammy just turned on Chip and Joanna Gaines. Somebody pull the fire alarm, please." Okay, I don't know who Chip and Joanna Gaines are. Do you?
I got nothing.
Not important. Walter Langston said, "Just a short drive from New River Gorge." Been all over that area. We'll probably do a few more videos there.
Yeah.
The problem with New River Gorge as a national park, because we've been covering New River Gorge since the month or two before it became a national park, and it's the newest national park in the national park family. The problem with it right now is you're kind of limited in you have to get to know it. So if you go there for whitewater rafting, there's not a finer place on the planet. And this is somebody who is from Southeast Tennessee, the Ocoee River, one of the greatest whitewater rafting rivers on the planet. Grew up there, grew up on that river and the Hiwassee River, the sister river to the Ocoee. Grew up in the mountains there, pulling rafts, guiding rafts, blah, blah, blah. And then you go to West Virginia, though, and honestly, the rafting's probably a little better in West Virginia. And it's beautiful. It's absolutely gorgeous. The problem is that outside of rafting, you've got some back roads to enjoy. After that, you're kind of doing the Gatlinburg thing, but it's not quite Gatlinburg. I guess what I'm trying to say is it's an outdoor enthusiast kind of thing, right?
Yes.
And what would you say about New River Gorge? I mean, you got sandstone, which is a part of that. You've got...
I don't think my opinion would be a fair assessment, because we've not done all that there is to do.
But what else is there?
I don't know. We did do the loop, and they give you the CD that you can listen to as you drive through.
Now, what is the loop? What is the loop?
You drive through, and if you listen to the CD, there's like this whole audio thing as you're going through, explaining parts about the bridge, parts about the road being made. You can go up underneath the bridge on the loop, and then when you get down to the bottom is where the rafting is, and that was kind of fun. That was interesting.
We had a great time.
It was peaceful sitting out on the rocks for sure.
And the drive down's beautiful.
Yes.
And if you want to see that amazing bridge, one of the largest bridges in the world, if you want to see it, that is the best way to see it. And it is interesting enough to take a trip there. I think you would agree with that. It's very interesting. But after you've done it,
beyond that,
after you've done it, you've done it.
Yeah, that's about right.
There are some back roads that you would have to go and stay and get up the morning, that morning. It can't be the afterthought because you lose the daylight. But as far as seeing fall foliage, this year, we timed it wrong.
Yes.
The first year we went, last year, it was beautiful. It was one of the most beautiful places in the world. By the way, I've got to brag on Carolyn. I said this, I'm always pushing her photography page, which here this past year, she hasn't done the greatest job in the world, no offense, at keeping it up to date because our church schedule hasn't allowed her to do that. Been very busy. Yeah. That being said, she submitted,
and we have a grandbaby.
Which a lot of that is through there.
Precedence.
He does. That being said, Carolyn is in a West Virginia calendar now, not herself, because I would not let her pose for a calendar. They called, but I said no. But, hey, come on, just go with it. They should have. They should have.
No.
They may not have, but they should have. But they're actually using 2 of her photographs that she took the previous year in their calendar for 2022. So congratulations. I'm very proud of you. Her photography has just gotten better and better and better. She she limits herself on effects that she uses and messing with saturation stuff. Very limited on that.
Because I've seen people do that. And as pretty as you can make a photo with all the saturations, to somebody looking at it from an outside perspective, it's obvious that it's been tweaked and messed with, and I don't like doing that.
Sure.
I like capturing what we're really looking at.
Yeah, and she does a great job.
I can tweak and edit, and as far as like when I do photography of people, I can slim you down by 50 pounds. I can get rid of your double chin. I mean, I can do all kinds of stuff, but I prefer not to do that when it comes to your scenery, nature, land photos.
I wish you could make my hair grow.
I could give you hair.
That would be wonderful.
I can do that.
And like me walk around with it though, like a permanent Photoshop.
I'm sorry. I wouldn't want you. No, I don't like you having. I don't want you to have hair. I like you bald.
Well, yes. I mean, just like a midlife crisis kind of moment.
No.
My dad got a hairpiece. No, it's not a hairpiece. He got the plugs 20 years ago. It's like he hit the midlife crisis, and he had the hairpiece, not the plugs, and they lasted like 6 weeks, and he pulled them out because they were making him itch, making him miserable. Hilarious. Kilted Adventurer Toby says, West Virginia is lovely. Can't wait to go back. Oh, and I've got better places to take you. Me and Billy McDaniel there. We are going to take you to some amazing places and then leave you. No, I'm kidding. I'll play you.
That's not nice.
Frenchie says, leave Chip and Joanna alone, please. Well, who are these people?
I don't. Hey, DJI, look that up for us.
Is DJ in here?
I think I saw it.
DJ, are you here?
I did.
Because if you are, I'm really hoping that you have already become the moderator. Because now we're dependent upon you. I don't think he's in here yet.
Oh,
we're going to have DJI, who apparently is like Mr. YouTube.
Yes.
He is our honorary policeman in the chat room. He's amazing. He is so on the ball. Yeah. I'm going to call him my Jamie now. Hey, Jamie, pull that up, Jamie. Pull that up, Jamie.
Yes.
Billy says, Brand, thank you. I'll tell Mammy to turn them off. Delby Kilted Adventure says the communist Santa aliens took all the bear with the help of Bigfoot.
And it only cost 28 cents. It was not millions of dollars. See, thank you, my friend.
Well,
agreed.
That would be communist math. That would be communist math. It really would be. I saw a bear on the Appalachian Trail back in June, Walter says. Strong's Adventure says it was Santa Claus that moved. Billy's jumped into it too. That moved the black bears so the polar bears can have some new turf. Hey, whatever story works for everyone else is fine. But Carolyn was convinced that that the park had moved all the bears, that it was a conspiracy because we had seen so many the year before. Now
we did.
Carolyn,
we saw them all the time. There was never a time that we went to the Skyline pre-pandemic that we did not see a bear, a mom and her cubs. It never happened.
And seriously, there were people, and it's been a long time since Carol and I have been unsafe around bear, but a long time. Yes. You'd have to go back 15 years, probably.
Yeah, the first few years of our marriage.
Then we were crazy. We followed them around Cades Cove, silly. Then we grew up and went, let's not do that. Yes. But I will say this. We did see some behavior from some people on Skyline Drive that bothered us. Yeah. And we'd be like, I probably shouldn't do that. Yeah. The bear would be chomping down. They make this sound with their mouth. They'll close down with their mouth and make this real loud chomping sound. And to me, that's your no-brainer. You have a predator in the woods chomping. It's usually a good giveaway that you should get away.
Not to be mistaken with when they're eating.
Yeah, no. They're not eating. They're just chomping their mouth. Yeah. It's like they're signaling like I'm not comfortable right now. Yeah.
We actually had one do that to us.
It went to us. We were a distance away, and it was another car.
That's right.
That got it. Right. And then we got in the car. We're like, "See ya,
peace." Because we were standing out by the bumper.
I don't even want to watch what's about to happen next. But you can't film it and put it on YouTube. No. If only YouTube was the way it used to be. No, I'm kidding. But
that's awful.
No, I didn't mean it. But seriously, it was weird that there was such a changeover between the year before and the next year. Now, I don't think people moved the bear at all. I think it comes down to the fact that the pandemic shut down all the lodges up there. There's less garbage, so they move on.
They moved them.
Well, Carolyn still thinks that they moved them. I will say this.
And I pay We pay an annual fee. We pay for the pass. So I'm up there with my well-earned money wanting to see the bear, and they've moved him.
But
It's
I don't
frustrating.
think, though, that they owe you a bear sighting.
It doesn't stipulate what they do and do not owe me up there.
Well, maybe so. It is odd. I will say that it is odd. Rangers, how do you feel about the attitude of the Rangers on the Skyline?
Hateful.
Why?
Because every time we've seen one, even when you stopped one to ask questions, they're not very friendly.
And this is something
they blow you off, and they give you canned answers.
We've never understood this, why there's such a difference between the Rangers on Skyline Drive than any other place. It's just kind of strange. The ones
Blue Ridge Parkway, gosh, that one guy.
They'll talk your head off.
Yes, he talked to you.
They're
I was
wonderful.
so ready to go. He kept talking and talking.
Yeah.
And if you get this man talking, they talk and talk and talk, and I was ready to go.
We did. They'll tell you, they will, man, they'll just give you whatever information. I don't mean top secret stuff, but if you're wanting to know the historical aspect of this or that, whatever, or what's going on in the National Park Service here in this part of the parkway, they're very friendly. I don't know why the Skyline Drive is the way it is. This one woman, Carolyn, was a little piece away from this small bear.
We were in the vehicle.
I
know which one you're talking about. We were in
the vehicle, and Carolyn looks over and she says, the ranger looks at at Carolyn and says, "Ma'am, you need to be 2 bus lengths away from the bear," and I'll let you take it from there.
And my response was, well, are we talking short bus or long bus?
My wife, ladies and gentlemen. My wife.
I don't think she liked that thing.
No, she didn't. Needless to say, the National Park Service at Skyline Drive have our license plates memorized.
Because of me.
They just, for some reason, the park rangers on the Skyline Drive follow us. I don't know why. Billy says, Rockingham County Bears had an outbreak of the mange. Oh, Billy's getting real up here. CIA may have started that. Is Juan Thomas in here yet? I had heard that the Bears on Skyline Drive had the mange, but that's weird too. Like, why did they all of a sudden get the mange at once?
Hold on. You totally just missed Mark's comment. See, he's backing me up, only in a different area. So in the Coast Guard, we were taught how to corral orcas in Alaska. In other words, they will corral them and they will move them. Thank you, Mark. Thank you.
All right. Okay, Mark. You might be onto something.
I'm telling you, I am.
All right, whatever. Billy McDaniel says, "Hey, Toby, you up for a December camping trip?" Yeah, because it's going to be awesome. Anyway, Walter Langston said, lots of ghost town in New River Gorge. Most people don't know about. Actually, if you'd watched our video on New River Gorge right here, Walter, we talked about those ghost towns because on that New River Gorge Bridge Road, where you get the little CD and all that stuff, you're surrounded by small mining towns that have the vegetation has grown over them. So yeah, there's all kinds of ghost towns around there. They're old mining camps is what they are. You can't see them though in the summer at all because the leaves hide them. Billy says, Folks Run area, survival style camping. That sounds like a blast, but I'm still bringing a tent, a mattress, and my sleep pad. Old McDonald. Hey, saw Smokey the Bear at the Ocoee today. He asked where my mask was.
Down with the mask, people.
Of course, he's wearing his, Says, Smokey the Bear for life. Mark says, Bill, you are a handsome guy just the way you are. Thank you, Mark.
Yes, that's right.
Just the way you are. No? Okay. Junior Foreman says, it's not possible that some of the Bears got the COVID. Wait a minute. He said, it's not impossible that some of the Bears got the COVID. There was a deer in Ohio that tested positive. True story.
What? So they're testing animals?
I don't know. But here's what I'm saying. If I have to wear a mask, the deer should too. And so should the bear. And I challenge you to put one on that bear.
Let's not.
No.
Let's not.
Junior Foreman says, the Kilt Adventurer says, Gary, I was on Signal last week. The CT piece is great. The signal parts are very poorly marked and got off the trail several times. Didn't see any bears. That part of the country just don't hold a lot of bear in that area. Not a lot of bear. The bear population is very low still.
Yeah.
Sequatchie County is probably the best hope for a comeback. There are bear sightings in Sequatchie County. There was bear sightings on our family's property on Lewis Chapel. So you've got opportunity on a rare occasion to see bear. They took bear from the bear habitat in Gatlinburg that I hate. They're at Ober. There's a bear habitat on Ober, and so
it's up at the top.
Yeah. So they took 2 bear. This is years ago. They took 2 bear out of there and took them to Sequatchie County. They said, that's a mom and daddy bear. They'll mate. and will help increase the bear population in Sequatchie County, Tennessee. And those bear found their way back to Ober-Gatlinburg.
Yes, they did.
Because they were eating really well at Ober-Gatlinburg. And Sequatchie, just not good food. They were making a better living, at Ober. So they went back to Ober. But the bear population is still a little bit healthier that way. But they have a hard time really getting the bear population good and going around the Cumberlands. It doesn't make sense to me either, because Toby, you might be sitting there saying, why is that? I don't know. That doesn't make any sense to me. I know that you still have a lot of poaching, but for some reason, despite poaching, Polk County bear population has exploded in recent years. All of East Tennessee because I don't call the Cumberland Mountains East Tennessee. That's Middle Tennessee for me. But the East Tennessee mountains, your Unicoi Mountains, Smoky Mountains, that whole area, all the way into North Carolina to the Pisgah National Forest, that area is loaded, with bear. But across the valley, for whatever reason, the Cumberland Mountains, the bear population is very low. Juan Thomas says, yes, they're testing animals. All of Congress has to be tested. All of you get a test. You get a test. Think there are bears in the Great Smokies? There are definitely there are lots of bears. It's a very, very, very concentrated, high population of bear. Yep. And yet we have seen more bear in Virginia than we ever saw in Tennessee, by far. Not even. I think it has to do with Skyline Drive and the Blue Ridge Parkway, because the Blue Ridge Mountains in Tennessee or in Virginia, when you come down off either side of the mountain, you're kind of back in the city or back in the valley. Folks up here probably don't see it as if you're a long way away from, they see it as you're in the middle of nowhere. But compared to places in East Tennessee and stuff, it's kind of populated here. So the bear are kind of forced to the strips of land on the mountaintops around there. But still, the bear population is high enough here to where you'll still see bears all the time on Facebook that are, they have a Facebook name. No, I'm kidding. You'll see people will post pictures of bear on Facebook that here in the valley, like not far from the house. No. And then you've got a high bear population in West Virginia. That's really hard to keep up with because of poaching. But the hunting population, the population of bear in general is still pretty strong. But from what I understand, it's still higher in Virginia, I think. I would need to check my sources on that one, though. Kilted Adventure. Toby says, I think I'm ready for another adventure. We're ready. We're getting the dates together now for a December getaway. Billy says, yes, CDC actually says hunters should wear a mask when field dressing a deer. A lot of wildlife tested positive. True story, Billy says. I don't argue with experts. Do I? I don't argue with experts. I would never argue with experts. Juan, I love that comment. So I'm like, Strong Convention says, oh, y'all got ornaments on the tree.
Finally. Oh my gosh, it has been so busy for us.
Yeah, we finally did. They were actually spread out all over the kitchen for the past several days. Yep. And we finally
Crystal helped.
Crystal helps because she's here right now. We have to booby trap the house. Well, no, what's it called?
Yeah, it's child safety because our grandbaby's coming.
Grandbaby's coming, and he's in the roller thing where you sit in it.
It's a walker.
It's a roller thing.
I think they still call them walkers, don't they? I think
Walker, Texas Ranger. It's Chuck Norris.
Oh my Lord.
But no, he's in the roller thing. And so we got to child-proof the house a little bit. It's going to be a lot of fun. The Kilted Adventure says, Bill, do you remember the deer we saw? Yes, we had deer, and it happened to Billy McDaniel and I as well, where somebody eating out of your hand. The same thing happened to Billy McDaniel, myself, who's also in here asking you about the camping dates, that if you're in an area where there's not a lot of hunting, and you and I were in an area that hunting wasn't allowed, and Billy McDaniel and I were also at an area where there's hiking but no hunting, and it's like the deer are tamed. It's crazy, and they will just about come out and eat out of your hand. Yep. Dennis Jackson says, we have bear in Knox County. I remember hearing back in 92, 93, 94 in that area that bear had made a comeback in Knox County. And I was dying to see one, but I never did while I was there. But since then, I've heard that from quite a few people, Knox County, Kentucky, East Kentucky in general, that there's a huge comeback in the bear population. Mark says, short bus or long bus. He's still on that one. Excellent. Roller thing is the official name. It is indeed. Walter Langston says, got lots of deer in West Virginia. Well, there are lots of deer. Deer, I call them wild cows with horns.
We hit one in West Virginia.
We did. Yes,
we did.
Wait a minute. We weren't in West Virginia anymore.
Yes, we were. You and I still argue about that. You say we were in Virginia. I say we hadn't come over the mountain
It's
yet.
the first winter and the first snowstorm that we'd been in Virginia in November. And we weren't used to seeing snow in November. That was like a big shock for us. It wasn't even Thanksgiving yet. It was like the second week of November. We'd shot some video, Old Country Roads. By the way, I think that video has like 5,000 views now or something. It was almost a throwaway video. We weren't really planning to make a video that day. We were exploring West Virginia, and we had a great time. But on the way back, we hit a deer, and it kind of knocked us out of action. It cost $2,500 too to fix the thing.
Some serious damage.
Did some serious,
it was a very big doe.
some serious damage, and we had a good time. But still, we had to fix the truck.
We were able to get home. It didn't damage it. It didn't put us out of commission and on the side of the road per se.
We thought we were so in the middle of nowhere, and honestly, what we've learned about West Virginia is we were actually in the metropolitan area. Looking back, we were actually in the crowded area of West Virginia. The Kilted Adventure says a bear was loose downtown Chattanooga. UTC campus a couple of years ago was on the news.
Interesting. That's very interesting.
That was probably a villain on a Marvel movie. He turned into like the Incredible Bear.
Years ago.
I don't
was
remember.
During pandemic, I'll bet they took him from the Skyline.
Probably did take him from the Skyline, put him in Hamilton County. It's probably what happened. I do not remember that. But I'm not calling you a liar, Toby. Of course not. I'm just saying you stretch the truth every now and then. I'm kidding. I'm playing. Mark says, so do the deer need to get vaccine and boosters before you can eat them? I try not to be controversial. I mean, the goal.
You would never.
I would never. I don't want to stir trouble.
Controversial.
I don't want to say anything bad. I
never.
want to keep this as clean of a channel as possible, where we don't stir anything up. Vaughn Thomas says, Mark Sesowitz. Oh, good one. The Kilted Adventure. September 2020, pre-pandemic. Wait a minute. September 2020 was in the pandemic. Do you mean September 2019 pre-pandemic? Right? Yes? I don't know. Billy Strong's Adventure says, at Bill Marion, y'all need to get the grandbaby one of those jumping things that hooks over the door trim. We had a video of our son, but that got lost. Oh, I'm sorry. but it would be viral. They can actually jump out of those things, though. They can. The little jumper on the door. Remember, that's what Mom was talking about.
I've heard mixed reviews on those. I've heard some people say they're great, and I've heard some people say they're dangerous.
Are they flexible? Are the cord thingies flexible? Because that'd be fun. Like this.
I don't know. I never have.
Because you could like use them like a slingshot, like pull them back. It'd be hilarious. I just think it'd be funny. I don't know. Walter Langston says we have the Mothman here in West Virginia. That's over in more towards the Ohio. It's like, isn't that on the Ohio River? The legend of the Mothman. So Mothman, Bigfoot, and an alien walk into a bar. No, I'm kidding. There needs to be a joke there. Somebody add a joke right there. Good movie too, Walter. Hey, are you talking about Brent? Are you talking about the movie with Kevin? Is it not Kevin Costner, but Officer and a Gentleman guy? I'm drawing a blank, but he was investigating the Mothman. It's supposed to be loosely based on a true story. Kind of like Independence Day was loosely based on a true story. I'm not sure. I don't want to offend anyone in here who's related to the Mothman, though. You know what I'm saying? I want to be very careful. Old McDonald says, congrats on the grandbaby. We just had our second great grandbaby. Wow. Old McDonald. Man, you really did have a farm. It's a bad joke, okay? I'm scraping the bottom here.
My goodness.
Scraping the bottom. E-I-E-I-O. Is that copyrighted?
I don't know.
I don't either. The Kilted Adventures, baby slingshot. Because it would work.
And she said, amazing. And I was typing this before Bill said it.
Great minds, Toby. Great minds. Brent G. Mount Pleasant. That's right. For the Mothman. Richard Gere. Richard Gere. Right. Yeah, Gere. Richard Gere. Yeah. He played an officer and gentleman. He's like all Tibet guru Hindu guy. Yeah. Ting. Meditation. One of those guys. Doesn't eat meat. Kind of weird. China doesn't like him. Did you know that? I kind of like Richard Gere because I'm going to tell you why I like him, because most people are mealy mouthed when it comes to China. Apple, not the kind you eat, but Apple, as in the kind of computer that I love, just signed like a $250-something billion deal with China. But Richard Gere years ago said they are not our friends. So I don't know. But that's getting too political, way too political. And far be it from me to say anything on this channel that's political.
You would never.
I would never. Junior Foreman says, Point Pleasant, West Virginia for all on the Mothman. I thought about doing a video on the Mothman, but I'm afraid I would make so many people mad just being silly about it. because there's a statue about the Mothman out there. Like they take it seriously. And I'd be out there like, I almost did that in Shepherdstown, West Virginia, the most haunted place in America or whatever.
Yes, that's right.
It was so hard to keep a straight face while I was up there and make that video because it was ridiculous. It's a little college town. And I'm like, what am I supposed to do? Like, everybody was telling me, do you know you're only 2 hours away from the most haunted town in America? And I'm like, what, did they get nominations? Did it win an award? How did they go about choosing that? Did the ghost write their vote in? Well, how did they come about that? And I got there and I was like, this is a little college town with some very simple, what would you call it? Just mom and pop shop kind of things.
Yeah, just small shops. Yeah,
very cute. I've heard actually more good things about the college or the university, whatever it is. I've heard more good things about that than honestly I've heard about the town, and we didn't see any ghosts or goblins while we were there. Of course, then again, we don't believe in them. I guess you have to believe in a ghost to see a ghost. I don't know the way it works. It seems to me. It's like Bigfoot. No offense to Bigfoot if you're watching or if you're related to a Bigfoot or if you're sympathetic with the Bigfoot cause. I mean no disrespect. It's just I've spent most of my life in the woods and I've never seen one. Now, Carolyn believes in them. I'm just kidding. I'm playing. She doesn't. However, I will say this, going back to you for just a second here. When we go out on our adventures, there is one thing that you hate doing. You hate this aspect of our adventures. And if it ever turns here, you go ballistic. Because we talked about this last night, that when we're in West Virginia, certain places I carry, but there's certain places I don't. So, but what is this one thing you absolutely hate? And you're like, we're not doing that. I have to make deals with you sometimes.
The late night driving or the bad bumpy roads. Because they're both.
But you kind of came around on the bad bumpy roads. You kind of came around on that. Okay. I just learned to ignore you better. But when it comes to driving on back roads at night, oh my goodness. Yeah. Jasmine Blair's in here. Sorry. Jasmine, what's up? Sorry. We love Jasmine Blair in there. By the way, they got a great YouTube channel too. You want to check that out as well. Feel free, Jasmine, to post a link to y'all's YouTube page while you're in here. We do that all the time, all throughout Vlogmas. So anyway, if we go to an old country road in the middle of the night, like 11 o'clock, we're coming back from something and I want to take an old back road or an old dirt road. She goes crazy. Like, it doesn't matter. I could have a machine gun and 2 pistols and a tank because we talked about me driving a tank last night. Like, I would like to drive a tank.
Those things are pretty neat. What were they called?
Which ones? The Sherps?
Yes.
Those were neat.
Those were neat.
I think DJ recommended. I can't remember if that was Variety Entertainment who recommended that or I don't remember.
I don't remember either.
Regardless, she does not like back roads at night.
No.
We made this wonderful video over on 238. You guys liked it, had a good response. It was in West Virginia. What you didn't see is that I spent too long that night on that road. And by the time we left, I thought I was having to say, I'm so sorry, baby.
Yes.
We're going to go shopping. I'm going to buy you those shoes. I'm going to buy you that coat that you love because I was in trouble. She just gets wigged out and I don't blame her. Like, I get it. I understand. And I guess if I had common sense.
Just think about it. West Virginia, there's no cell service just about everywhere in the state.
True.
Well, and especially the places that you take us.
Especially places you take.
And you get on those back roads late at night. Sometimes you don't see certain parts of the bumps in the roads or big rocks or whatever.
Right.
You get a flat tire, no cell service. I start thinking about that movie Wrong Turn that we were talking about the other night. Scary. I'm from the city, y'all. And yes, I love mountains. And yes, I love hiking. And yes, I love bear. But I'm still a city girl, born and raised in Florida, in the city, 18 years, y'all. So back roads, late at night, no cell service. I'm freaking out.
I can't say that I blame her. And I don't have the sense God gave a goose sometimes. No. I get excited because, we're out there. It's beautiful. And you're seeing deer and bear and lions and tigers and whatever, aliens, Bigfoot, I don't know, whatever. And you're having a great time. And but I'm not paying attention to the fact that it's getting dark. And all of a sudden, especially if she like takes a nap or something, and then she'll like, wait, and she'll look around and it'll be like an old coal mining job. And like if you're in West Virginia, I'm just driving around the dirt road, looking around, and she's like, where are we at?
Yes, and then I look at the time. Are we getting close to dark?
And then the fog. If you're from the mountains of if you're from the Appalachian Mountains at all, you know there's a fog that's going to settle in.
Yes.
do. And in West Virginia, it could be a blizzard. You could get a rainstorm. You could get all kinds of craziness. And I'm the one that's like, no, but it's fine, baby. It's fine. Nothing shall harm us, not death. No, I'm quoting Bible scriptures. It's all good, baby. And then I have to like spend a lot of money making up on that one, But I always thought that was stuff that they don't know about. I'd like to be able to film more at night. That'd be a lot more fun.
Yeah, you need a different camera.
I do need a different camera. I do agree.
Yeah.
Kilted Adventure. Let's see where are we at here. Kilted Adventure says, Jay Blair, please. And by the way, Jasmine, Jay Blair is, Kilted Adventure. It's Toby from Abba's house. And so, please post a link. Jay Blair, please post your channel link. I can't find you always and want to support Bill fans. Jay Blair says, yes.
Oh, and so she goes back to where I was saying, I'm from the city. So when you do that, it feels like Movie Wrong Turn. And she said they taped that movie in West Virginia too.
There it is.
See, I'm not crazy, y'all.
West Virginia does it again, but it is the most unique mountains in the. I said this. I don't want to repeat myself from last night, but they are the most unique mountain. Where's your favorite place in West Virginia?
Ooh, that's tough.
I know. That's why.
And we haven't covered all of West Virginia either.
Well, most of it.
Okay, so my favorite place of the places that we've been.
Yeah.
Ooh.
It's hard.
It is very hard. I like Spruce Knob, not at night.
Because we've done that too.
We went through there during the fall, and oh my gosh, this was not this year, last year.
Yeah.
It was beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Mom was with us.
Yeah.
And then beyond that, we went and did there was like a pumpkin patch or something when we went more north.
We went to the north. We went through Hardy County.
Yeah. But we went further than
right. We went to Hardy County up to Maryland, the Maryland area.
Yeah,
like
that was
right
nice.
outside the Maryland area. That's another nice area.
What's yours?
I was hoping you would trigger mine to make a decision. I guess right now it would be Dolly Sods.
Oh, I forgot about that. Yes. You've done more of that than I have with Billy.
Yeah, but here's the thing. It's not just Dolly Sods. That whole mountain range right there, Monongahela National Forest. If you put me anywhere in the Monongahela National Forest, I'm going to be happy as far as that goes. The population is just a great place to get away and unplug.
Jasmine said, talking about West Virginia, we stayed there one night, longest night
of my life. I want, and I know some of you guys have heard this already, but Jasmine, it comes down to this. I've said this for the past 2 or 3 nights. I want a cabin at about 4,000 feet with 10,000 acres. I don't want to live there all the time. That'd be antisocial. I'm a social butterfly, or at least a social moth. One or the other. One or the other. Moths are pretty too. Ask Mark if he's still in here. Mark knows all about moths. But I want about 10,000 acres between me and whatever. But on a mountaintop with a creek behind me, a stream. And my family, they think I'm crazy. Real estate companies think I'm crazy. I don't want a real big, nice cabin. I want that look, no electricity, just running water. But they look at me like, no. I'm like, okay. So yeah, it's crazy. Brenji says, West Virginia does have some dark, winding roads.
They can be daunting.
I love them, though.
They're scary at night.
The greatest road.
With you driving?
With me driving. Usually that's when you take over anyway. My favorite.
No.
Oh, yeah, because if it's in West Virginia. True.
No.
Yeah, I got you. One of the best roads, it has to be in the summer, early fall, or very late spring. Remember, that area, we're talking about Spruce Knob, that area, most of the time, the weather there, you can still get flurries in June. You can still get snow in June.
Yep.
And I talked about that last night where my son and I went camping up there, and there was still snow on the ground on Spruce Knob, and they had salted the road the morning that we were driving to go camping. So that was in June. I mean, they just have a completely different weather pattern there. It's not that it's farther north. It's that it's on the Allegheny front. Anyway, where was I going with this? I'm here. You're there. Where's the point? I forgot what I'm saying. I can't even remember.
I'm not in your head.
Most of the time you are in my head. We have a good time together.
Yes, we do.
And
always.
I've spent a lot of time talking, the past several nights with you in here, of course, that most of the time when I'm making videos, I'm trying to capture what we enjoy about being out in nature. Mm-hmm. And I cannot imagine doing this without you.
It's the best.
It's the best.
It's the best.
It is the best. And it keeps me from getting in trouble, because if I were doing this by myself, I'd be dead already.
You've done it by yourself a few times, and he came back with scratches all over the truck. Bad.
Or scratches all over my face, or scratches all over. Yeah. Because I tend to I don't have common sense. So Carolyn's like Jiminy Cricket, we shouldn't do that.
This man's been in the Army and everything, and it's like safety just goes out the door when he gets out there if he doesn't have somebody with him.
We have a lot of fun, and we've been all over the place, and we're not stopping anytime soon.
Not stopping.
But you don't like the camera. I don't understand why, because you're amazing at it, but you don't like this aspect. And I'm asking for a friend.
Asking for a friend.
Because you're amazing at it. What?
I don't like being in front of the camera. I don't know. I don't think I have a reason.
Well, I think you're lovely. I think you do a great job.
Well, I think you're lovely, but I can be lovely off camera too.
Well, you're that too. I'm precious.
You are.
Yes.
You're perfect.
Oh yeah. Fabulous even. Well, let's see. Old McDonald says, I don't believe in ghosts by spending the night in the middle of the Chickamauga battle. Whoa, wait a minute.
No, if you don't believe in ghosts.
Okay. Old McDonald.
Try spending the night.
I will say this. One of my best friends, who my son is named after, his name is Nathan. I wish I could give his full name, because you probably know him. If you're from that area, you probably know the family. Business people. He's a doctor, but the family's they're business people. He and another doctor friend of his, who I went to high school with, they claim to have seen an apparition, if you will. And again, I don't believe in ghosts. It's really hard for me to keep a straight face on this. It really is. But to this day, it's been 25 years ago, they claim at night, Chickamauga battlefield, to have seen a woman apparition, to use a Ghostbuster term there, that looked like the period piece, 1860, 1865 dress, and that she vanished. That's what she said. Again, I'm like, whatever. Walter Langston said, spend the night on top of Peters Mountain in Moore County. That was fun. And the view. I need to check out Moore County. I can't seem to place Moore County right now.
It sounds familiar.
Billy at Strong's Adventure says, just wondering out loud to myself, why is this the best Vlogmas ever? Oh, of course. It's because the talent is so much prettier than normal. True. But still, it's very true. Very true. Kilted Adventure says, Old McDonald, I have been meaning to get to Chickamauga battlefield. Okay. Toby, being the amazing YouTuber that he is, actually, that'd be a great idea for you to check out Chickamauga, Toby. Seriously. I never made a video in Chickamauga battlefield. I did Lookout Mountain, but not Chickamauga.
I did a photo shoot there.
You did do a photo shoot there.
Sure did.
Juan Thomas says, you're great, Carolyn.
Thanks, Juan. Love you, CIA agent.
I'm telling you, and he didn't come in here last night. And I was crying. It was like after the post.
Was it last night? Are you sure?
It was last night. I was crying. I was bawling. I couldn't stop. You know how I get. And then he sends a message, not a message, but he left a comment, which you can always do. You can always watch our live stream stuff, the next day or something. And
we like it when you're here with us.
It's live. A lot more fun when you're here with us live. But he comes in and he says something to the, like, hey, I couldn't be there. He had whatever. And it was just so wonderful that he was like, I'm being accountable. And I'm like, you don't have to be accountable to this, but he's so sweet. We love you, Juan, even though we do know that, well, the JFK assassination, we know you know. We know. We love you, but we know. That didn't mean he did the JFK assassination. I want to say that for the record. I don't think he did. Sorry, YouTube. I didn't mean that. Kilted Adventure says, get a room, the both of you. You're fabulous. We have a room right behind you. We do. Old McDonald says, beautiful place. Funny thing about Chickamauga is the main highway runs right through the middle of the hardest fighting. And that is where they saw the apparition. You don't believe in ghosts either at all. We've talked about this. Nope. We'll be on listen how crazy we are. This would freak some of you all out. We'll be on one of those dark, scary roads in the middle of nowhere and talk about people's belief in ghosts and not get scared at all. Mm-mm. When people ask me what makes me nervous, because you'll get questions every 50 videos that are kind of good questions. You're like, save that for Vlogmas. But they'll ask some good questions. And one of them, hey, did you ever get nervous out, doing anything or worry? And I told you I carry in some places I don't. Most of the time in wilderness areas we carry. Most of the time, unless I'm hiking with Billy, then Billy carries like 7 machine guns, a tank, and all that. So I don't have to worry about anything.
I love it when you go places with Billy.
I love it. Because he's like a bodyguard. It's like a trained bodyguard.
He's fantastic.
Unbelievable. I mean, it's it borders on the neurotic. It really does. Just kidding.
It's fantastic.
Pretty good stuff. But a lot of people would say we're crazy, but we get out there. I'm more scared, not scared. That's not the right word. It's not scared, but I'm more cautious about seeing a vehicle on one of those dirt roads in the middle of the night. Cause I know what I'm doing there. I'm crazy. What are you doing out here? And what kind of crazy are you? But I'm not worried about Bigfoot, aliens, UFOs. Like I said, I've been out in the woods my whole life and never seen a Bigfoot, never seen aliens. Don't believe in aliens. Here, let me say it this way. I don't believe in intelligent life on other planets. Go ahead, blow me up now in the comment. Matter of fact, we'll have a debate right now, a full-fledged debate. No, we won't.
You're on a time limit.
I'm on a time limit. She's only giving me 1 hour tonight. She said, I'm only on there 1 hour and not.
And that hour's almost, and I forgot to set the timer, but your hour is almost up.
That doesn't count. That's actually fast.
Oh.
YouTube's clock is actually 10 minutes fast.
It counts.
All right, it counts. Anyway, but the truth is that we don't get that scared or nervous or anything. But I am more concerned about people on back roads that we visit than I am ever anything else. But it's more like just caution. It's not.
Well, that's what I'm saying is, I don't know that I would be necessarily scared of an animal. I mean, obviously you don't know until you're in the situation, but if the scenario that I described earlier, the dark roads, it's late, flat tire, all that stuff is the people. You don't know those people out there. And sure, most people that you meet, you think, oh, they're great, but you don't know somebody when you're out in the middle of nowhere. Like, okay, for instance, it was broad daylight, but that day we got the flat tire up at near Chilhowie. And we go to this guy's house and he was great to help us, but it was a little concerning. And it started getting dark.
I wasn't concerned.
Of course you weren't.
He was a nice guy. I mean, granted, he answered the door with his wife carrying a pistol.
Well, I don't blame her. Honestly, I don't blame her. Strangers at your door and they lived kind of in the middle of nowhere. I don't blame the gun. I really don't.
I don't know. There's a code in the wilderness. There's a code. You're going to help your fellow man in the code. Let's catch up here in the comments. Gary Millwood said, do I have to be accountable? Yes, Gary, you do.
Always.
Always. You better be. No. Juan is he's just a super guy, man. He's just a great, y'all know that already from just his comments all the time. He's just a very sweet person. Billy says, y'all do what I did. Remember to hit that thumbs up, please. Excellent. Thank you, Billy. I appreciate you remembering. Make sure you hit the thumbs up. Guys, just a reminder, too. We are here. What is Vlogmas, Carolyn? What is Vlogmas?
It's where you go live every night
for
the whole month of December.
For the whole month of December.
I was like, is this a trick question?
No trick. No trick. So we start December 1st and go all the way to December 25th, about an hour a day, sometimes a little longer. And we have a great time around 9-ish every night. Christmas, we're going to probably change that up. Christmas Day, want to make sure I spend all that time with my family and all that kind of stuff. Or depends on our schedule too, but always around 9.
I think you're even going to lose my help on the opposite end when the baby's here. I'm sorry, but baby's here.
And if you're asking yourself, okay, really, are y'all going to be those grandparents that push your grandchild in the camera all the time? Yes, of course. Duh. Jasmine says she sounds like me. You know what?
Girl, me and you are a lot alike.
If y'all got in the car and it was me and Paul Solano, I'm telling you, we would have a good time. Yes. It'd be fun. Yes. And we would be laughing hysterically.
West Virginia with us. Would you? I'll bet you wouldn't, would you? The way we do with the back roads, I bet you
guys would have a good time.
Nope.
Toby at Kilted Adventure says, I hope I didn't lose anybody there. Toby at Kilted Adventure says, I was painting a house in Mountain Shadows in college where a murder happened. Dun, dun, dun. And a radio turned on by itself. Cabins open and closed with no one there. I knew what was going on. I just ain't buying it, man. Ain't buying it. Nope. It must have been the barometric pressure. Besides, if you watch the movies, how else are you going to see a Bigfoot unless you have a flat tire? Because, that's how the movies happen. If you're going to see aliens or Bigfoot or a monster, you got to have a flat tire.
Did the Hendersons?
That don't count.
You said in the movies.
Yeah, but that's different.
He said in the movies.
He's a friendly Bigfoot.
They didn't have a flat tire.
But he's a nice
Bigfoot.
Bigfoot. No, they didn't. But he was a nice Bigfoot. Kilt Adventure. Juan Thomas, Bill, make sure my Dutch oven is here by this Wednesday.
He said my Dutch oven.
That
Emphasize my.
That is not your Dutch oven. And you have no proof of it. So there. Walter Langston says, my mom is that kind of grandma that takes lots of photos.
Same.
Yeah.
You missed Jasmine. She said,
Oh, my
I need
bad.
to borrow Carolyn and go for a girl's trip.
Y'all need
yes,
to.
girl. Where
Y'all
we
need
going?
to.
I'm all in.
Y'all need to go on a mountain adventure.
Let's go shopping.
You know, shopping to Roanoke, down to Roanoke.
Yes.
The Strong's Adventure says, LOL, Juan Thomas. Kills Adventure says, Harry and the Hendersons, a top 10 movie. You people and your Harry Henderson lover.
And they didn't have a flat tire.
I hated that movie. I still hate that
It was
movie.
a cheesy movie.
If there is a Bigfoot, that is a wild animal with no human attributes. I would hunt Bigfoot. I would definitely hunt Bigfoot. That'd be fun. That's a real hunt when the animals can hit you back. Like that to me, that's the ultimate hunt, right? Juan Thomas says, your mom told me I want, oh man, now you invoking my mama.
Oh, he went there.
Now you're invoking. I don't think mom's in here tonight, but she's been a faithful Vlogmaser.
Yes, she has.
Just don't bring
you
it
need
up.
to just text her and at some point tell her we're going to cover Elvis and she'll be
Yeah.
in the whole time.
We might need to come up with a title like Elvis with a Christmas hat or something just for mom.
Yeah.
And have an Elvis night, Elvis Christmas night. After all, Elvis had a lot of hits. When I grew up, though, I was not an Elvis fan. Like when I was younger and Christmas music and all that, I was a Temptations, Four Tops guy because my family's from the South, but we lived in Detroit. A lot of my extended family's in Detroit, Motown. And so when I think Christmas music, yes, Bing Crosby and all that stuff, but I can't help it that Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, Temptations, 1965, if I'm not mistaken, and is one of my favorite Christmas songs. It is. I know you guys laugh at me to this day over that. Or Little Drummer Boy by the Temptations, another good one.
That is a good one, but you and I both agree that it's not oh my gosh. I sound really stupid now.
No, you
it's
don't.
not how it goes. It's not a factual song.
It's not it's not a normal type of song.
Pentatonics does that one really good.
Pentatonics does that song really good.
Amazing.
They do it great.
Yes.
Well, guys, if I go any long, as of right now, I'm having to pay her.
Juan said, who's
Man, I hope my mother is not in here.
And so it begins.
What some of you all need to do is some here in the chat room just mention that Elvis is probably in hell right now. And that'll get mom going even more. And it's great. It's great to watch it.
Do not provoke her.
The typing doesn't stop. Elvis is not in hell. He wrote Blue Suede or whatever. I don't know. But nevertheless, I have to pay Carolyn overtime for every minute she goes over of 1 hour. So,
Shopping.
So I don't have a choice in it. You guys, I'm so grateful, as always, that you spend this hour with us during Vlogmas. Great time of year. We love being Jasmine. It's good to see you here tonight.
So
welcome.
Good to see you, Jasmine.
Welcome. It's good to see you guys here. Billy, Toby, the other Billy. We got a lot of Bills. Have you noticed that on this? We have a lot of Billies in this group.
Yes,
so, and if I missed somebody, I'm very sorry.
So don't even go down the name.
Not even going to try.
Love y'all. Thanks for tuning in.
Bye, guys. Bye, Bryn.